Welcome to the family with
Co-host Catherine Brandt.
Alex Brandt Bernard Rasmussen.
Doug Sprinthal.
And Andy Brandt Bernard.
everybody's here, ready to go. Everything is good.
We're ready to go.
We have, after this show, we have 2 more shows.
And then we're retiring.
And
Goodbye
then
forever.
We're going to fold up the tent and all of that stuff. Starting next Monday, we'll be on 10:30 to 12:30, correct?
Mm-hmm.
One show. A lot of people that were on the other one work during that time, so they can't be on the new time. But I just got really sick of competing against morning radio. You know?
Well, I mean, it's also, we had 2 shows that were kind of competing against one another.
Yeah.
A little
Confusing for
strange.
People, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're combining the shows.
We are combining shows. Kristen Burt will be with us still. Anybody's worried about that, Kristen will still be on. She's probably going to lead off the show every day, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, after the opening 10 minutes, she'll be on Monday through Friday.
Wonderful. I love her.
How long? I'm like, when? What's happening? When?
With what?
How long is she going to be on?
10:45 to 11, right?
Yep.
There you go.
Somewhere in there.
Oh, so, okay. All right.
Somewhere in there, I know. But I love working with her. She's so easy to work with. There's no question about it.
She's a true professional.
Indeed, she
Can
is.
we give them the bad news?
Yeah.
What's the bad news?
Bob Sansevier is going to be on 3 times a week.
Oh, God, that is
I'm
terrible.
not coming on.
No.
Buy some extra strength earplugs.
That's
Manny.
Bob.
I haven't
I love
talked to
seeing
Bob
him.
in a long time. I talked to him 3 times over the weekend. My ears are still ringing.
No,
Yep,
he does project.
he sure
Oh.
does. I wonder if,
Yes.
when he's 95
He's
years
excited.
old, is he still going to talk like that?
Probably.
He's gonna
Or
be
louder.
The loudest old man on earth.
Could be.
One of the Vegas trips, I think it was one of the last ones. Sarah and I were out there, and we were sitting at dinner, and my wife is sitting between Sandy and Brittany.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, God.
God. Oh,
That's
Had-
loud.
She had
It's
ringing in
loud
her
to
ears
hear.
for a few
Wow, it's
weeks.
that'll do it.
Taking off.
It's like,
Like people that live at the airport. It's like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
One
told,
time-
oh,
I had a Brittany story.
I do too. You go.
Okay. Remember that one time we took a bike ride with Brittany? We went up to, I don't know, some area around the lakes.
Yeah, like Lake of the Isles, and we
Yeah,
had
back
dinner.
when we lived. Yeah, back when we lived in Golden Valley, we rode over there, had dinner. We're sitting outside, and Brittany was talking so loudly. I was actually a little embarrassed.
Here's the
She
thing
does.
about Brittany. She gets excited. The more excited she is, the louder she talks.
Although she has definitely, from like 15 years ago, she has quieted down quite a bit, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, because she
Yeah.
was a kid, and I feel
Yeah,
like you can't be
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
get your
yelling
kid
all
and
the
your
time
animals
when you're a
wound up
kid.
when you yell.
This is true.
Well, that's kind of the point.
The chat wants to
her
know,
whole
Tevin and AJ will be on? No.
No,
Tevin
they
and
will
AJ
not.
won't be on.
They
AJ's,
do.
They are
he's
moving.
doing Score North, and Tevin is starting a restaurant, right?
Yeah. Yep.
What?
That's exactly
I
right.
know. That dog just told me that
Well,
last
we were
week. I was
just-
like, "What?"
we were, and then this is sad. We were just talking. I asked him after the show this morning. I said, "So, how's the restaurant coming?" And he's just started rolling his eyes. Well, part of the funding pause has to do with the Small Business Association loans, and then he's like, "I don't know what's going to happen."
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, all the loans. It's crazy.
I thought it only had to do with Green New Deal and
Green New Deal.
4 other things. Yeah, there was a press release about that everybody's freaking out and you're not going to get your welfare checks and your food stamps are going away. And
yeah.
all of that is not true.
yep.
There's a White House press release, if anybody can find it, that actually says what is happening. Because the 2025 budget is set and funded. This all is reviewing everything when it comes up for budget again, I think in September. So everyone is freaking out about it, but a lot of it is not true.
Well, good.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Are you talking about the press lying? What?
Well, it's not only the press. It's like Pritzker.
People are very much misinterpreting a lot of things that
Yeah.
are going on right now.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, like there's been rumors that Trump somehow repealed the Civil Rights Act. I don't believe he can do that, for
He
one.
didn't do that.
No, he did not do that. What he did is he repealed some executive order called like the Civil Rights Executive Order or something like that, which is completely unrelated. But people got the two confused. So people are like, oh, it's going to be, we're back to the 1800s, et cetera, et cetera.
It's the Equal Opportunity Act that that Johnson put into effect back in
Okay.
Yeah,
Fine.
but the Equal Rights Act is still, it still applies, and it still basically supersedes that executive order anyway, so doesn't really matter a whole lot.
I got to run something by you guys. I did it on the morning show as well, and nobody really had much of a reaction to it. But there's New Yorker magazine, right? They published this picture of some kind of celebration after the election where Trump got elected and all the rest of it and blah, 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 right? And they pointed out in the article, apparently, I didn't go deep into it, but apparently they pointed out in the article that notice there's not one black person that was invited to this party. Then they reached out, the other side reached out and got the actual full photo. They cut the black people out of the photo so they could claim that no black people were invited.
Well, wasn't
The
that
New Yorker did that.
New Yorker magazine.
Wasn't that C.J. Peterson's event, and he's a black guy?
Yeah, I know. It's like, what are you talking about?
This is at
Let's
the
see.
inauguration?
No, it wasn't.
I
the
think it
inauguration.
was a celebration, probably at the time of the inauguration, but nobody seems all upset about it. It's like, well, first of all, it's racist as hell to just say something like that, and second, it's like, how are you not upset by the fact that they lied to you and said there was only honkies there? I mean, when are they going to stop lying on the news?
Okay, so C.J. Pearson, he is a black GOP Youth Advisory Council Gen Z Republican strategist.
There you
So
go.
a lot of adjectives.
Yeah.
A lot of
One of
stuff
those.
going.
I hosted this event, and New York Magazine intentionally left me out of their story because it would have undermined their narrative
Jesus.
that MAGA is some racist cult.
What's
They
the guy's
also
name?
didn't include the fact that Waka Flocka,
Walk off.
He's a
And-
rapper.
Waka Flocka, yep, the rapper.
Gervonta, Gervontaa,
Mm-hmm.
were also there.
GR what?
Gervontaa.
Huh.
Let's go with
he made a
Gervonta.
typo there. That's this person's Twitter handle, but their
Yeah.
name is just Gervonta with one A.
Oh,
apparently.
okay. So C.J. Pearson, he hosted the event. He's a black guy. And then
C.J.
they,
Pearson?
yep, C.J. Pearson.
But my question is here: why do people
Oh, yeah.
will get upset by that? But then you find out that's not true at all, and they don't care. It's like,
Oh, yeah,
whatever.
I'm seeing, it was the cover.
Yes,
It's
right.
the New York Magazine, The Cruel Kids table. They
Yep.
cropped out a bunch of black people over on the left so that they could say,
Here's-
have you noticed the entire room is white?
I
Here's
know.
the thing.
Isn't that? It's unbelievable.
But
With
that's-
Donald
Yeah.
Trump becoming the president, this is just going to be constant for
Yep.
a while.
Yeah,
Next
like
4
it was the
years,
last time.
nothing else.
It's just
Exactly
going to
like
be,
it
no
was.
matter what, every single thing is going to be so polarizing that you see and blah, blah, blah. And
Actually, it might be the next 8 years.
It's-
true.
yeah, for real.
So the best
Would
thing to
be.
do is just completely ignore politics and
But I'm kind of
go on your
surprised that
merry
people.
way. That's
But I'm surprised that people are not upset by that. That this magazine lied to you flat out, and no one cares.
Well, like
I'm sure
I
people
was
care.
going through last week when I've been reading this book about all of this propaganda stuff, and what happens is that the journalists or whoever put out that story, that's gone viral, and they're going to get paid big money.
That's right. That's how it works.
And everybody's
about
going to
money, sure.
everybody's going to see this
Yep.
post.
It's about
and
money.
If they're already an activist or whatever, they're going to say, "See, I told you."
Mm-hmm.
And if everybody sees the other thing, they're going to go, "Wait a minute, that doesn't sound right," and then they're going to look into it. But by the time somebody looks into it, and by the time it's
yesterday's
corrected,
news.
it's yesterday's news. Nobody
Yep.
cares, and everybody's still going about their business being the same way that they've always been.
Amazing.
It
I think
is unfortunate that someplace like the New Yorker feels that this is the way forward, because all of the mainstream media, they're losing viewership,
Well,
listenership like
in big
crazy.
trouble. CNN's in
Yep.
huge
I mean, like
trouble.
absolute crazy. And they still continue doing this gaslighting thing, which I believe is one of the reasons why Donald Trump got elected,
Yeah.
because everyone's sick of being lied to.
Yep, I
But they
agree.
just, for some reason, will not stop. It must be so profitable
Yep.
that they're not going to stop.
Yeah, I would have been perfectly happy to never hear Donald Trump's name ever again. But yeah,
There you go.
here we are.
Oh, they're losing their minds already. And there's already, I don't know, there's like a list of hoaxes already.
I know.
I mean, it's just,
I don't know why it has to be that way, but apparently people are all about that. Whatever I believe has to be true. Otherwise, I will not admit that it exists.
yep. I guess that's just humans and it's not going to stop. So,
But people are not upset by it. They're like, oh, yeah, well, that's, it was mostly white people anyway. It's like, that's not the point.
no.
I don't know. It makes no sense to me. Makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Well, you'll be comforted to know that global warming is going to cause diarrhea.
Yeah, apparently that's the latest. Whose story was that again?
The Daily Mail.
Daily Mail.
Duck up on your Imodium.
Yep.
Global warming is causing diarrhea now.
Those Doc for us, please.
Yeah, what do you mean? Daily Mail, you said?
The Daily Mail.
Yeah,
That's out of
We've
the
actually
UK.
broken some really truthful stories in the past. I get-
sure.
but they do the same thing. They throw stuff against the wall and see what goes
Well,
viral.
Daily Mail is especially notorious for that, I think.
Oh, is it?
It's like reporting on whatever. They're like one step above the National Enquirer.
Didn't they
Yeah.
just wind up paying Prince William just a ton of money?
Did they?
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're
they
right
did.
about that.
CNN
They
just had to
apologized
pay-
to him for, trashing him for 10 years and
What did
gave him the
CNN?
big check.
What did CNN just have to pay millions out for? Somebody just sued them.
They've done it a few times.
Yeah.
No, but that just happened.
They had to fire tons of. They fired Jim Acosta. Well, they wanted to put Jim Acosta on at midnight, so he quit.
Well, what a slap in
CNN
the
settles with
face.
Navy veteran after defamation verdict.
Jesus.
This should have been last week. $5 million.
Oh, so what
Yeah.
did they claim? That wasn't
Yeah,
true.
what was the hoax?
Yeah. I think I remember hearing about this story. It's like he was part of the team that was evacuating people out of Afghanistan.
Oh,
And-
okay.
Oh,
Apparently
that
he
poor
said-
guy.
He said some
Oh.
things that they took out of context to make it sound like he was extorting people to get onto planes. Like, oh, give me
They
$100,
ruined-
I'll get you a seat on the plane. But that's not actually what was
They
happening.
ruined his life. They ruined
Well,
his
now he has
life.
$5 million. So
There
Yeah.
you go.
Life's
can
not
ruin
too
mine.
ruined. Yeah,
Yeah, ruined mine.
not too
life
terrible.
is good
He
again.
made it out okay.
So, Alex, what's it like being a lesbian kindergarten teacher?
Yeah, I'll tell you everything.
I'm going to call my lawyer and sue the Tom Bernard Family Podcast.
Yeah.
Bastards.
There you have it.
Good luck to you.
Are all of the national news channels out there? None of them are doing all that well anyway, are they?
No, they are
They're just
not.
too extreme one way or the other. Do we have anybody down the middle? Is that possible at all, or doesn't that attract enough people?
There's people that say they're going to do that.
I know,
But
yeah.
CNN did. They said they were going to. I don't know if they did. I kind of doubt it.
No, they
But
did
maybe.
not.
I don't pay enough attention to know.
No, CNN. I haven't watched CNN in a million years. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't know what was happening on The View or CNN or MSNBC unless people all they ever do is they retweet what they said for
Yeah.
outrage.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, oh, I wish they'd just stop talking about them completely. They'd go away faster if
They
people
sure
would stop
would.
talking about them.
I feel the same way about what's that guy's name? Bald guy hates
Bald
women.
Name bald guy hates.
Bald guy that hates women.
Bald
Okay.
guy
Dr.
who
Phil?
hates women.
Dr. Phil.
Does he hate women?
What the hell is his
I'm
name?
kidding.
I don't think he.
I have no
Andrew
idea.
Tate.
Who's that?
I don't know who Andrew.
See, that's the
Tate is.
thing is none of you know who the hell this guy is. But if you spend any time online in any like even remotely left-wing spaces, you'll hear his name a billion times. And the only reason anyone knows who he is because people who hate him won't shut up about him.
Oh, okay.
And there's a ton of people out there like that. I mean, think about like the Kardashians. How much airtime did they get
Yeah.
by people who hate them, which in
Yes.
turn increased their popularity?
Yep.
You know, if
But that rage
people would
bait-
stop being so loud about things they hate, the things they hate would probably go away.
I think rage bait is very profitable online.
Oh,
If
sure.
you're getting paid
Oh, it is.
per click and you're all outraged about the latest thing,
Well, that's the thing. It's like I don't think the people on The View are really that mad about Andrew Tate. I think they get a lot of money for talking about Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Disclaimer:
Who is
I
it?
don't know if they actually talk about him, but I'm assuming they do.
What does he do that pisses everybody off? What's he doing? I don't even know who it
One
is.
of those influencers who's all about like dollar bill, y'all.
Dollar
It's all about the money.
It's all about the money. It's you got to do the hustle. You got to get the women, but don't marry any of them because they'll just take your money. And you got to get the Bugattis and et cetera, et cetera. One of those.
It sounds delightful.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to find
His whole
out.
thing is like his like taking disillusioned young men and saying like, oh, you don't need women. Women are bad.
Oh,
Which it's basically the counterpoint to what wave of feminism are we on now? Fourth?
at
Is fourth
least.
the crazy one? I think it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of people out
happening,
there.
Alex?
Alex, what are you doing?
My Chromebook says it's not plugged in, but
Yeah,
it is plugged
those
in. But it
plugs
says
are.
it's
Try switching to the other side. Sometimes that's all you can do.
because I'm like, it's
I know.
gonna.
I
It's
think I
like your
need to-
device will power down in 8 minutes, and I'm like, well, I
Yeah.
need more time
I
than
think
that.
I need to swap that one out.
Oh, it did this before, and then it stopped.
Yep, and then now it's doing it again.
No, it's
Chromebooks,
okay.
they
We're
don't
good.
get
We're good. We're
heavy.
good. It's fine. It worked.
They don't get heavy usage. I don't understand why they poop out so easily.
Because I bought them refurbished for $100.
Oh.
Yeah.
we
That'll
were-
do it.
I figured it'd be good enough for 2 hours of use a week, but apparently not.
It's fine. I just changed it. It's fine.
Fine.
Good.
Doesn't need.
All right, I have to ask
be-
everybody a question. I need some help because this morning, by coincidence, I didn't know this was going to come up and I didn't bring it up, but by coincidence, I got up a little earlier this morning and I sat in the studio and tried to watch the news. I cannot watch any of the stations that put the news forth. There are 5 of them. I went to all 5 of them. They do a terrible job talking about important things and hype up whatever their political views are on either side. Is there any one channel that's down the middle? Is there one that exists? Doesn't
PBS
sound like
Kids is pretty good about
PBS Kids.
staying away from the political extremes.
Might be good for me if I go on
You got
PBS
your
Kids.
Wildcrats, you got your Daniel Tiger.
Sure. No, I went on.
You're going to think I'm crazy, but I would give PBS a shot. Now they do admittedly lean left, but they interview a lot of conservatives, and unlike every other news station, they never yell at people. They don't talk over them. They let people, express their viewpoints.
Yep.
It's kind of grown up. Now they're grown up lefties, but they're not bomb throwers. Maybe you could try it. It's certainly not going to be any worse.
I'll give it a whirl because I've been through 5. I've been through Fox. I've been through CNN. I've been through. There are OAN. There's one, and then there's all kinds of them. And you go to them, and whatever they believe is what you're going to hear, and you're not going to hear any news that I don't believe in. It's like
I remember watching PBS. This was during the first Trump administration, and they did a piece on who was the Secretary of Education, Betty DeVos. Is that her
Yeah.
name?
Yeah,
That sounds
yeah.
right.
Betsy
And
DeVos. maybe?
Betsy, that's right.
Yeah, there
Very
you go.
And she was painted by the left as being this really rich, out of touch person. And after listening to her for half an hour, I'm like, she's actually got pretty good intentions, and she's really smart, and people don't understand what she's about at all.
I don't know
Anyway.
why people want to believe what they want to believe. Is that kind of the impression you get?
It's a football game. That's what we've turned the
Yeah.
country into.
Which is really too bad. Why don't we just, kind of maybe try to work shoulder to shoulder? What do you say?
Not going to happen. See, look at it this way:
Nope.
it's a football game. The Supreme Court are the refs, and they're all favoring the Chiefs. We're screwed.
It's probably going to be the Chiefs, just because. It's it's good press. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, we're all it's the Chiefs.
I'm not a huge football guy, but I did watch that game with them and the Bills. I was rooting for the Bills, but that was a hell of a football game. It was
Yeah.
really, really well played. And I looked at those two guys, and I think there was maybe one sack in the whole game. They never got in trouble. I was comparing them in my head to the Vikings in the last half of the year. I'm like, yeah, there's a reason these two are, competing for the Super Bowl, and we're not.
Yeah, well, it's only been 35 years since we've been in a Super Bowl. So
Or is it 40? I think it's 45 times.
maybe it's 45. Oh, it is. It's 77, I think. I just kind of looked at that. Yeah, so it's been a while.
Yeah, 77 would have been their last appearance.
Jeez.
Coming up on 50 years.
50 years. And I can remember those games very clearly in my head. Thank you so much for that, carrying that around for 50 years. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. But such is life. It's the way life goes. That's the way things go. And I don't know. It is what it is. So any other topics we should go after? Anything important going on?
Wow.
Well, if anyone has
Lots of
any
stuff.
questions about the new show,
Yeah,
why not
feel
visit our
free
chat
to.
room at jazzy.com/Tom Bernard Show.
Well, that's a good idea. And
Because
I don't have the.
we did have a couple questions in there that we addressed.
And we're also going to fire up a text line too. I don't.
Yes, we
have the
had
number.
one for a
Right.
while,
Yep,
but
we're
then
going to bring that back.
yeah,
So.
What
we-
happened to it?
We just apparently, well, we had the website form and we had the call online, and people were like, "Oh, it's enough." We got social media, but
Yeah.
But the text will be easier for people to find. We'll put it right on the webpage, and it'll take. I'd like to say me and Andy, but it's actually Andy that does all the work. It'll take a few days next week to get everything fine tuned.
That'll be a good thing. But I mean, let me get the take of the four of you. Don't you think it's a good idea? There's just no reason for me to be competing against morning shows. If I wanted to do a morning show, I'd go be on a morning show on a radio station.
Well, we can talk inside baseball a little bit. Tom and I have been talking about this since October, maybe,
That's
And
probably about right.
trying to figure out how to, grow the audience and stuff. And I said, Tom, here's the deal. Your name is such a big draw, but the family, it's a cool show. But the name, if you Google the family podcast, there's about 8 pages of them.
No, I suppose. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not that the family people are going away. It's just, it's more of a marketing move and to try to consolidate the audience a little bit.
Good idea. Yeah, it's a really good idea. No question about it. I just look. I mean, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I just kind of sit in the middle and look both ways. And it's just like, Jesus, what are you all?
Alex,
just,
you okay?
What?
What's wrong with
I'm
you?
not, nothing. I'm great.
What are you doing?
I'm just sitting here. What are you doing?
Well, what's Doug talking about then?
Nothing.
She was
worry
cracking up when you were talking
About what?
about
I just-
being a centrist.
I want to keep a tally board of like a whiteboard of I don't have a dog in this fight.
Well, you don't. But I'm
like,
going to have a dog in this fight
There's certain
from now on.
phrases, and like if we get to
I am.
10, you owe us all nothing bunt cakes or something like that.
I'm trying my best to
I think
treat
you
all
should be
people
you,
equal.
Tom.
And
Yeah.
so far,
not
all
just
four of
me.
you talked right over me. So I guess it's going to take some adjusting. That's all I'm saying. Just let me talk. I let you talk. Let me talk. Right?
Sure.
But on the new show, not on this one. No, anyway, where'd Andy go?
He's,
think he
it
got
sounds
a
like he's
phone
on
call.
the phone.
Has he had enough?
He might be dealing with trying to schedule a Xfinity business meeting thing.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, we're upgrading. We've got getting a new router in the studio, and apparently our I don't know. I think we're on 3 whatever MPBSs or whatever they call it, and we're supposed to have 300 or 500. So he's like, "Oh, that's why the signal was so crappy."
Ah, good.
Yeah. So
So I didn't know the signal was crappy.
well, okay. So Hubbard, when you went with Hubbard,
Mm-hmm.
Hubbard got their own apparently, which was updated. And we weren't really using ours. We were keeping ours as a backup.
Oh, okay.
And so now Hubbard with the new changes isn't going to be dealing with the internet. So we had to take a look at it and found out that it was sorely lacking. So this is way before. I mean, we've probably had this account since we were in downtown Minneapolis.
Yeah, well, I suppose that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's bad, and we need a new system. So
Well, we have more time because I just got an email this morning from Dan Seaman saying it's going to take a couple more weeks to make the switch.
oh,
It's supposed to be done by February 1st or 2nd, something like that. Somebody's birthday, I think it was, but I can't remember who. Yeah. No. But no, so I don't know when it's going to be completed. They they're very busy or whatever the situation is. So at some point, we will get all that stuff we need, correct? Is that what you're hearing, Doug?
Yeah, well, we're supposed to be ready to roll Monday.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to come anywhere near that. So I'm still going to do the show at that time on Monday, so they can do whatever they want. I do understand a corporation of that size. A lot of stuff comes up, so I do understand how it's
probably
going.
has to have 10 committee hearings.
Probably something like that. So yeah, I mean, it'll all work out in the end. I just we'll wait for it. I think it'll be much better in that it'll be on a yeah. Again, and I've said that 3 times on the show, this morning show. It's like it really makes no sense to compete with morning radio shows with a podcast. Makes no sense whatsoever.
No, I mean, kind of the beauty of the podcasting is people can listen to it when they want to, right?
No, that's true. That is very, very true. But for a live, I love having a live audience too, though. A live audience is very important to me. What do you think of that action?
Well, you were in radio for so long, I can see why you
All
like your
live.
live audience.
Yeah. So what's going on, Andy?
Just had to schedule Comcast to come out and upgrade the internet.
What I thought, because I got a call from them too, and I
Yeah.
remember our conference call, you telling them to call you. But
Well, they
called
did
me
try to
first.
call me, but I was on the phone in the car, and I was like,
Oh,
"Oh, they'll just call me back." But it took a while. But yeah, our old line was 75 down, which for anyone who knows a lot about it, the internet is not great.
Yeah, that's
That's actually
It's
quite
slow.
horrible. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to 500, a little bit better. Let's see. Trevor wants to know if I'm going to be on the whole time. Yes, it's going
Yes,
to
he
be.
is.
Dad and I and Doug are going to be on the whole time. I think every day.
only Monday through Friday.
Well, yes.
So we're
Yeah,
gonna
there you go. Monday.
Be off on the weekend.
I'll show up on the weekends. Just ramble on for 2
How
hours.
committed
just
you
get
are.
out of the house.
And then Alex will be on the first hour of Monday and Wednesday.
There you go. He's got
And
little kids
Catherine
at
will-
school.
Are you going to be doing the 2 hours Monday through Wednesday?
No,
No.
Why not?
What do you mean no?
because you said you've got too many people on.
No, I didn't.
I thought I was fired.
Yes, I fired my
Yeah, I
wife.
bet you
That's
did.
exactly what happened.
I was hearing that the family's going away, and you're.
No, the family show is going away.
Yeah.
It's going to be called the Tom Bernard Podcast again. We're going through our, 7th name change, I believe?
Yeah, something like that.
It was the Tom Bernard Podcast, and then Tom Bernard Show, then Podcast again.
Wasn't it the morning show for a while?
No, it was never the morning show. Because
Oh yeah, at the beginning it
Wasn't
was
it?
the morning show with Tom Bernard.
Was it?
Yeah.
At like the very, very beginning? Oh, wow. I don't even
Man.
remember that.
No,
No, recently.
when he changed to Hubbard,
Yeah,
it
a
was the
couple
morning
years-
show with Tom Bernard.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. For like a month or something like that.
The rebranding.
And then, then we were the family. And now we're going back to the Tom Bernard Podcast. So take that, SEO.
One thing that I should explain for people that are listening to this, why the things are kind of different than they've always been, because podcasting is getting bigger by the minute and radio is starting to fade away. People, Andy and Alex's age, don't listen to the radio, and they're
It's true.
you go on younger than that, and they really never listen to the radio.
We did briefly. We listened to KTIS when Ethan was extremely young
Mm-hmm.
because it's Christian music, so it's all very like calm and down tempo, that sort of thing. Made him fall asleep every time. So we were like, hey, you know what? Why not?
It does the same thing to me.
Yeah,
I suppose.
that's why we had to stop listening to it in the car. I was falling asleep at the wheel. But then we listened to Cool 108 during Christmas
Yeah,
because they do their Christmas thing.
they have a.
But that's it.
We have a station down here that does the Christmas thing too. Right after it
Yep.
starts on Thanksgiving and goes
Yeah.
to about January 3rd or something.
Yeah, it's like 1 month of listening to the radio, and then it's back to Spotify or nothing really.
And we get in the car, we turn on Christmas music, and I'm always astonished at how many Christmas songs I know but don't know most of the words to.
Yeah, I mean, All I Want for Christmas Is You. We've all heard 17 trillion times,
Yeah.
but I could
Yeah.
not tell you most of the lyrics.
I can
Yeah.
tell you every word right now.
I'm sure you could.
Yeah, that's true. You're
Well, like I don't know. Oh, Christmas
brand.
tree. I don't know the words.
Oh, Christmas tree.
How
oh,
something
Christmas
are your
tree,
branches,
How lovely,
lovely.
are your branches.
Blarba blue, bubbly, blue.
Yep, that's it. Those are the words right there. There's no question.
I could not tell you what the
Staring at
words are after that, despite hearing that song every year of my life since I was born.
yep.
One thing I can promise is that over we've been on this now for 13 years, been doing podcasting.
This will be our 13th year. Yeah.
In our 13th year, something like that. Things off and on have gotten, pretty political on both sides of the issue and all that stuff, which I've tried to make it look like we support, you're an American. I support you, you be you. You know, I grew up a Democrat, became a Republican for a while, and now, like I said, I'm neither. But my God, I don't think I know it, and I'm asking all four of you this. I don't think I know of a period where if you mention their political beliefs or whatever that seem to be involved with all this, they get immediately pissed off. And I don't understand that. It just because it's your political party doing it, whether it's left or right, doesn't mean you need to get angry because someone doesn't like what they're doing.
Well, there
I
were
don't-
some fellows in the 1940s, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't understand. Have people gotten even more and more and more political as time has gone? Has the internet caused them to be over the top, crazy political on all sides?
I
Well-
think yes. I mean, I just read a thread this morning talking about how children today have the anxiety levels of a 1950s era psychiatric patient.
Oh God! There you go.
I mean, and the thread was about how children aren't getting outside, they're not socializing with
Right.
people. A lot of them don't ever hear. They are so into their devices that they don't really. Well, there was just that thing last week about how people, Generation Z, they'd rather sit on a couch texting to each other than talking to
Right.
each other, even though they're right next to each other.
Yeah.
I find that not to be socially.
Well, if you can find a way to speak emojis, you let me know.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
then
what it
text
is.
will always be superior.
Okay, before we move on, Andy, because it's sticking in my head and I can't get it out of my head. What did Ethan just do? You were telling me a
Don't be
story.
more specific.
Oh, the fact that he can call people and
Oh,
smash the
yeah.
fart button.
Oh, the fart thing. Yes, that's
Yeah,
exactly.
audio emojis.
So what does he do?
He calls so he can get into our emergency contacts because you don't need to unlock the phone by design. That's what they're for.
Right.
And he can Melissa is my emergency contact in my phone. So he can, if he gets a hold of my phone, he can call her and then just start playing audio emojis to her.
And most of it's farting.
Well, actually, you know what? I can probably demonstrate it. I will call.
I think we need Ethan on the
Alex.
show.
Yeah, we do. Good
I know.
idea, Doug.
I'm calling you.
How
You
you
can
doing the
answer the
fart
phone.
board?
I have to answer the phone.
Yes.
Alex's
Audio
kids have been on
emoji.
the phone on
Now I
the
hit-
show.
Get the
Absolutely.
speaker. Now here's what he plays over and over. Over and over and over.
Andy, we got our special effects guy. Sign him up to a contract. He'll get free food for the next 18
He
years.
absolutely would.
See, that's the joy of family right there. Now that's wonderful. That made me feel good just hearing that fart noise because Ethan loves it so much.
He loves it, all
I
right.
don't remember when Fawn used to call me, and Alex is like, "How did she get into the phone?
I
It was
know.
locked." Or whatever. She used to be able to call. She's figured it out. I don't know how they bypass things when they're 4. I don't.
I
get it.
remember Fawn FaceTimed us one day, like a year or two ago, just like out of the blue. Or it might
Really?
even say it was Fawn or Sage, one of them. They just FaceTimed us during breakfast. And I don't think you did it for them. I think they did it
Yeah.
because I was like, "Is your mom there?" And they were like, "Nope." And I'm
Well,
like, "Okay."
I was there.
Well, I mean, like in the room.
No, she's gone.
She's
Well,
not-
I mean, I know because every once in a while for a bit, there was this app that they were both wanting to learn. You could like learn different languages. And there was like a children's version
Duolingo?
and like, yeah, but there was, I think you can do like a kid's
I think so. Yeah.
one. Yeah. And so they would like mess around with that if I was like, oh, I'll fold laundry and it's too cold outside or whatever. And so they would do that and then they'd get bored with it after a while and be like, can I call Nana? Can I call Andy? And I'd be like, sure.
Yep.
Go talk to people. That's
Yeah.
great.
That's kind of how Ethan's getting. He always wants to call someone.
At the door.
One thing that I absolutely loved the other day is I'm just kind of sitting around and my phone rings. I answer it, and it's Sage. But Sage hadn't gotten out of bed yet. He looked like he was bored to death. And while you were there with him, but I couldn't see you, Alex.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about the other day when he called me?
Yeah.
But he's kind of laying there. He's kind of going, "Hey, Papa, how you doing?" He sounded like he was like still half asleep, but he just wanted to be on the phone for some reason.
Yeah.
Sounds like he was doing a Kenny Rogers impersonation.
Honest to God, he was. He was. He's just very, very laid back. There's no question about that. But I just, Catherine and I talk about that quite often. That it's very, very important. Obviously, that Nana's back. Who was it?
It was the painters
Oh, yeah, they're coming to paint. What? 2
next
weeks?
week,
Was it next week?
isn't it?
I think it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
I think it is 2 weeks. We were just talking about when I was talking to Seiji the other night. He just called me. I think you guys were just laying in bed still, weren't you? I think.
Yeah, Alex was still
Yeah.
trying to sleep, and
Oh, that
didn't-
you were trying to sleep.
She didn't
then,
want to talk, so I think she sicked him on us. he was in a chatty mood.
It is amazing to me. Does he spend a lot of time with Dan? Dan would be his dad, of course, Alex's
He's got
husband.
so many mannerisms of Dan.
He really
already,
does.
And talks just like Dan. It's
He knows every team and every position and every jersey and every uniform. Man, he knows all that stuff. And he's what, 6?
He's 6. Yep. He's very into organized sports,
Yes,
especially
he is.
basketball. Like last night, Fawn was at dance. Sage was Dan was at a haircut. And so Sage and I, we finished his homework. He and I played horse and pig basketball. And then I was like, let's just sit for a little bit. And he was like, asked Alexa what NBA teams are playing today. Told us, and then he was trying to figure out how to listen to the games because I wouldn't let him go to the basement and watch them. And he would literally watch basketball all day, every day if he could. He'd watch basketball, play basketball, listen to basketball every day, all day.
So what does he do in the wintertime with the
We
playing basketball?
have a basketball hoop now fastened to our wall.
In the house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, there you go.
It's like a little one, and you can raise it and lower it and stuff so it's right at the point. It's basically at the ratio of your average, 6'5" NBA player
Right.
to dunking, like for Sage though.
Yeah,
That he has to
scaled
jump that
down, yeah.
far to dunk. And the hoop is smaller. It's probably, I don't know, 2.5 feet wide by 1.5 feet tall. Maybe, and it's on our wall because we had a freestanding one that was collapsible and you could bring it outside and inside and stuff like that. And then he just uses it. He probably plays basketball for cumulative 2 hours every day
Wow.
Really?
in our house. And he has his first basketball official game on Saturday. On a team. He's been at practice. He has practice tomorrow, and then he has a game on Saturday. And he has a team with a jersey and the whole thing because he's taken basketball camps and he's done community ed basketball and stuff. And there's not actually a whole lot for kids his age in basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of
Young. 6 is young for
7, 8 is
Yeah.
kind of when you can get on a team and all that stuff. But he's just so into it. We were like, we have to figure out a way. And
My son was like that. And the first indication that he was approaching puberty was probably 11 or 11 and a half.
Mhm.
And he's playing at a tournament in Rochester. And so I went down there with Sarah, and Wes's mom was there sitting a few chairs next to us. And she's, she was a good athlete. So she's cheering him on. Wesley goes right by her and goes, "Stop encouraging me." That was
See?
the
boy.
beginning of the end of our
Okay.
sweet son. He
Mhm.
disappeared for about 6 years and then came back.
Yeah.
Stop
Yeah, that's what
encouraging me.
happens.
So it
Oh
works.
my gosh.
So I'm going to be one of those dads who every dumb meme that he gets into,
Yeah,
I'm going to
just-
pretend to be super into it,
Yeah.
and I'm going to ruin
Oh.
everything for him.
Oh, absolutely. Any little term, all these horrible
Oh, God, they're so
Gen Z terms,
stupid.
they're so stupid.
Like what?
He's going to use them all the time.
Yeah, I'm going to be
Skibbity.
walking around the house being like, "Hey, Ethan, today's been lit AF, fam.
Yeah.
Alex, by
Video
the way,
Ohio.
Shut up, Dad."
Yeah, constantly. Drop
My-
him off at school, talk to all his friends, say
Yep,
all the
exactly.
words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
by coincidence, they put out a list of, I think, 20 things that people say, and most of them are off base. They don't even mean what's supposed to, but one of them was skibbity.
Skibbity.
It's that big a deal, huh?
Yep.
Skibbity toilet is.
Skibbity, Ohio.
How
Skibbity.
would I describe what Skibbity toilet is?
Yes.
Skibbity toilet.
So it's a series of videos on the internet. It's basically like a little mini show kind of thing that this guy just like makes. I don't know. I guess the best equivalent would be like the Sunday Funnies or something like that for little kids.
Yeah, but
because
like,
these videos are like 30 seconds long, and there's I think well over 100 of them at this point.
Is it like a TikTok thing?
skibbity, but
Kinda.
like, but like the word skibbity is like, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it started off
It's like saying like dope or bomb or like groovy. It's the new
Fly.
fly. Yes,
Yeah.
it's now skibbity.
Yeah, it used to be a song. It's in Bulgarian, and some guy misheard it. It was originally Shtibbity Bob 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 Yes Yes, and someone misheard it as Skibbity Dob 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 Yes Yes. So now it's Skibbity, which is not a real word; it's a made up word. But it was originally gibberish, and then people started using it in non-gibberish terms.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here, this
like
is the
the-
story.
it's like what's it called? Rick and Morty, wubba lubba dub dub, basically.
Well, and
Not
Ohio
that any of you know what that means, but
is bad.
Ohio is bad. Yes.
So skibbity is good, but
Mhm.
if you say skibbity Ohio, then it's bad. And Ohio itself is just bad.
Yep.
Really?
Hmm.
A regular criticism of AI and Chat GPT is that occasionally it spews nonsense, but in fairness, do smart humans? So do they. Someone on social media asked, what's a common thing people say that makes no sense? And here are some of the best responses. Number one on the list is skibbity.
Yep.
There you go.
It is
Yep.
right there.
And Sigma, that's another one that kids say a lot.
Well, let me see if
Kids
that's on
say
here.
like what the Sigma
Mm.
or like Sage a few months ago was singing a song that some kids in his class were singing. And Sigma isn't bad necessarily. It's basically
Sigma Phi Epsilon. That's all I know.
That's what
there
it
is
yeah.
that. No, it's like Sigma is like superior or like that person's really
Well, so Sigma is, you know how alpha and beta,
yeah.
that's like the wolf thing.
Yes.
Well, it also applies to men, according to some
Yes.
people. So, like an alpha male is one who takes charge and he's the boss and so
Mhm.
forth, and beta male is below that.
Yeah.
Sigma is apparently like out of the spectrum. You just don't
Yes.
give a crap about anything.
Yeah,
And
like-
people have decided that Sigma is the best kind because you know
Mhm.
no one can control you. Because like
Yes.
alpha males are still, well, it's like that Andrew Tate guy I mentioned. He's driven by sex and money.
Yeah.
But a Sigma male doesn't care about anything. So
Mhm.
he just does what he wants.
Yes.
So Sigma became slang for good.
Yeah. So Sigma, like Sage's class was saying, there was some song and I can't remember what it was. And I looked at Sage and I was like, do you know what that word means? He was like, no, it's just a song we're singing. And I'm like, you should not say things unless
Yeah,
you know what they
should
mean.
not. I remember when I was a kid, I went around, I thought it was cool if I spelt the word like, come here. I
Yeah.
started spelling it CUM.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I was,
Oh, not good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like like
yeah,
kindergarten.
I remember my mom
kindergarten,
being
first
like,
grade, second
do you
grade,
know what
it's-
you're saying? And I'm
yeah.
like, it's just a fun way to spell it. And she's
Yeah.
like, stop doing that.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, and I'm like, I just was like, well, he's like, well, so and so does it, and so does it, and I'm like, I don't care. They could be saying like Japanese swear words
Yeah,
for
you
all
don't
you
know.
know. Like, I'm like,
You do not know.
do not say words if you don't know what they are or what they
That
mean.
would
It's
be
just
a
a
good
general
practice
good
for
idea.
everyone.
Yeah,
It
I'm like,
absolutely would,
just
yes.
for life advice here. Even if everybody else is saying it, you don't need to because
Yep.
you have no idea what that means.
Well, I mean, skibbity sigma means nothing, but
Exactly,
it became
because
something
it-
apparently
yes.
because they just used it that way.
and it could change meanings next week if they felt like
And it will.
because that's just how it works, and yeah, it's like I don't know, I
Tom,
just
you
and
actually
I
found an article about this?
Yep. There's a big article about all the things that people say that make no sense.
Mhm.
You want me to run down some of them?
Are they all going to be Gen Z slang
yeah,
with the,
Briz.
every
No.
so often?
Nope. Everything happens for a reason, which is complete BS. there's another flip flop of convenience. The early bird catches the worm, but there's also the second mouse gets the cheese. What the
No
hell
one
does that
says
mean?
I like that.
I've
No
heard
one
it,
says that.
but
I've never
you
heard
have?
anyone say
it makes
Yeah.
sense. It makes sense because it's about mouse traps.
Yeah, because
the first mouse
gets
to get to the
killed.
cheese
Right.
dies.
Yeah.
No,
Second
does
mouse
you?
gets the cheese.
So
There you
Apple
go.
is a great example of being the second.
Oh,
mouse,
God,
you know.
yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
of smaller companies invented stuff, and Apple went, okay, hang on a second. All right, now we're going to
Yeah, like,
steal all
let's
these
just-
ideas and
Yeah.
become $1 trillion
Yeah.
company. Thank you very much.
We're going to
Yeah.
do the BlackBerry, but
That's right,
more
but
expensive.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sleeker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. Number 10, money can't buy happiness. BS.
I mean,
Depends if
actually
you
not
have it
true.
or
It's-
don't have it.
yeah.
There's all these studies where it's like once you get to a certain level of just like not needing to worry about money,
Yep.
yes,
Mhm.
money buys you happiness. But once you get beyond that,
Right.
like not needing to worry if you're going to have enough money, then you're not more happy
Right.
the more money you have.
That
Yeah,
makes
it's like
sense.
once, I mean, this was ages ago, so I'm sure the number has gone up, but I was taught that once your net worth is at about $100,000, anything above that isn't going to make you more happy. Because, you know, you got $100,000, you're good.
Yeah,
you know.
because as long as
You
you're
got a terrible medical
Yeah.
bill, you can pay it. Something happens to your house, you can fix it.
yeah, it's
You need a
probably
new car,
different
you can buy
now.
one.
But yeah, like as long as you are just like you're comfortable, you don't need to look at the
Mhm.
prices of things constantly and worry about like will there be enough, and you can go out to a nice dinner and be like, oh, I'm not worried about spending $200 on dinner or whatever. If you want to, that kind of thing.
You want to go to lunch?
Yeah,
There you go.
I don't know that I'd spend $200 on lunch on a random Wednesday.
Couple more of them here for all intensive purposes.
Oh my God, really?
Intents and purposes.
I know, but
That
this
makes me
is intensive.
disorientated.
Yes, exactly. Then you get irregardless.
Yeah,
My
irregardless.
dad used to say that.
Yes, he
My
did
dad
say-
used
Oh,
to
your
say
dad?
it, and I always
Grandpa
said,
said
it's
irregardless.
not irregardless, Dad. He'd get mad at me. Yes, it is. I was like, just because it was in North Dakota
Yeah.
doesn't mean.
People saying this guy did a complete 360 when they mean he did a 180.
180. Yeah.
I know. I do
Unless
that.
it's Michael Jordan, because he did do 360.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Or like somebody
Absolutely.
skateboarding
It's a very
or something
old,
there.
old internet meme. The Xbox 360 came out in it was like 2006 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so the joke was, why do they call it the Xbox 360? Because when you see it, you turn 360 degrees and walk away.
No.
And then they'd have a picture of Michael Jackson.
Oh, God.
Great.
Okay, the top 5, 6 a.m. in the morning.
I hate when people
yeah.
say AM in the morning.
Yep.
In the Department of Redundancy Department.
Yes, it
I
is.
hate it when
Yeah.
Andy, you had like a friend
It
or
was Amy.
something. Oh, it's Amy. Another
I wasn't
reason
going to bring her up,
to
but
dislike her.
then, of
Yeah,
course,
she's like
don't be mean.
7 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah,
No,
but I was always
just,
like 7 a.m. in the morning. Oh, so not 7 a.m. tonight?
yeah, like not the nighttime
Good to-
AM.
Good to know.
Okay, much appreciated.
Mhm.
Number 4, unthaw or dethaw.
Melissa says unthaw.
Does she really?
That's a Minnesota thing.
It is.
Oh, it is kind of
No,
odd.
a Minnesota thing.
freeze?
No, unthaw means thaw.
To thaw.
To thaw
But-
Just
something.
thaw something.
But
But she says
unthawing
unthaw.
would be freezing
Be
it.
to freeze it, yeah.
Catches
So
herself
you
a
should
lot.
say we're going to put it back in the freezer then.
Yeah.
Unthaw. I don't know that I've heard that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
Minnesota thing.
Yep,
Okay.
definitely.
Defreeze, I see.
Defreeze?
Because I mean, I'm not going to
guess.
start saying it, but that makes more sense than unthaw
Yeah, I
because
mean,
unthaw means
suppose.
the reverse of
Yeah.
thaw. Defreeze means the
Means-
reverse of freeze, which would be thaw.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get that tracks a bit more for me.
Tom, is hot water heater on the list? That one dries.
No, hot water heater. I remember that one, though. Hot water
It's a
heater.
cold water heater, actually.
Yeah, it's
Yes, it
like,
would be a
uh,
cold water heater.
Just
What do you put
water.
in a toaster? Not toast.
Right.
Not toast.
You put bread in a toaster.
Very true.
True. You do.
Mhm.
Look at
This is a
that.
good one. Number 3, I slept like a baby. Well, babies are awful sleepers.
Depends on
So
the baby.
It
Oh,
really
my
depends on the
word.
baby.
I slept
I
with
suppose,
the
yeah.
fawn as a baby.
Yes.
Not
You could say that.
A lot of screaming and pooping.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
sure,
How'd you
so.
sleep last night?
That is how I sleep. So
yeah, like a baby.
maybe that's why I'm
Yeah.
so tired all the
Maybe
time.
that's the problem.
There you
Be a
go.
doctor.
Yeah.
Number 2, I'm healthy as a horse. If you have a horse, you know this does not jibe at all.
You know,
It's-
horses are like dogs. There are some horses that never have a health issue ever,
Yep.
ever, ever, and some that are just sickly all the time. Just
Yeah.
like, dogs that are just
It's like people. It's like
Never have to
anybody.
take it to the vet. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's like Birch and May. They could, especially May. I don't know where she comes from, outer space, but like she could eat anything or have like a gash in her side and it would just like heal and she'd be fine. I'm like, she's the hardiest little dog. I don't know. One time
Yeah.
she ate a bunch of chocolate and I gave her
Oh.
hydrogen peroxide to make her throw up because like that's what they give dogs
Oh,
at the
really?
vet to make them throw up.
Yep.
I gave her she ate a bunch of chocolate truffles. She like
She had good taste.
Yeah.
got into
yeah.
my suitcase and opened up like an underneath thing. The chocolate was wrapped in cellophane in a box. She got into that, ate all of it. I gave her 2 things of hydrogen peroxide to help her throw up. She didn't even like burp.
She's like, yum yum. Hydrogen peroxide.
She just was like, trot, whatever. I feel fine.
She's part rat terrier. They can eat anything.
She's actually
Really?
not, I don't think.
Isn't she? She looks like a
I
rat
know, she
terrier.
totally does. You'd think
Huh.
fox terrier or rat terrier. It was like, we did that,
It's Chihuahua something.
however, that
23
whatever
for
Yeah.
dogs.
thing for dogs.
What was it called?
Wisdom panel.
Wisdom panel.
It's like
yes.
she's blue healer.
So is this
Chihuahua.
like 23andMe for dogs.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
where
it
it tells
is.
you like what
What's this
their
called?
wisdom panel. And yeah, she's blue healer and Chihuahua, and then like mixed. We don't know. Those were like
And
the 2 main ones. though.
5% Scottish.
Yes, she's from.
There you go.
She's born in Texas.
The final one, this makes no sense whatsoever. Number 1 is I'm sweating like a pig, but pigs don't sweat.
Don't they?
No. And
I
I've
don't
never
know anything
understood
about
sweating
pigs.
like a pig. Where the hell would that have come from?
Because you just look at a pig and you think
better.
gross.
Do not. Yeah, that's.
And
They're
so
very
when
fat.
you
look like
Saying
they should
sweating
sweat
like
a
yeah,
a
lot.
rat.
so when you're
pig.
sweating, you're like gross. I don't know. That's weird. For some reason on my Instagram, I keep on getting this woman with this giant potbelly pig being. She starts every video with "Let's take," I can't think of what, Tulula or something, whatever the pig's name is, for a walk. And it's like this woman walking her potbelly pig, and I'm like, I don't like this. I've never watched
Please
more
showing
than
it to me.
3 seconds of one of the videos because I'm like, I don't want to see you walk your disgusting pig.
Can't you say I don't want to watch this?
I swipe past it every single time. I'm like, algorithm, please pay attention. I don't want this pig on here. I mean, I don't have anything against pigs, but I'm like, this isn't something that I want to see.
Right.
No.
No, thank you. And she keeps popping up. And now that I've talked about her, it's going to be more.
Yeah, you're done.
No.
Now it's all I'm
She
going to
might be
see.
at your house by the time you get home.
That's it. Tallulah.
Yeah.
I don't remember. It's something like that.
Tallulah the pig.
Tallulah the pig. Let's see. I'm going to
Billy
go on my
Pig
Instagram
Lady.
right now and see if she pops up. Because now
Yeah. Well, now that
she's
you
going to
said it,
take
for
over
sure.
my life.
Merlin.
No.
There's actually a bunch
It's
of these.
girl.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Like a bunch of these.
It's a girl pig.
Girl pig.
Okay, I've scrolled like 6 times and she's not on there, so that's promising.
Okay.
We'll see.
Lulu.
Maybe.
Vietnamese pot-bellied pig owned by Joanne and Jack.
I have absolutely no idea. I've literally the only thing I've ever seen is let's take Baby Bear for a walk. And then
Yeah.
I scroll away because I'm like, no thanks. I don't want to see
I
this.
don't want to see a pig walking around.
Yeah, if it was an
Pigs are
adorable
kinda
dog,
disgusting.
yes.
Yeah.
I would love that. But no,
There you
even a
have it.
cat, I'd watch you walk a cat probably.
Oh, it's weird.
Yeah.
Cats don't usually. Even Nora, we tried to get her to go for a walk a couple of times, and she was just like, "I am going to go play in this bush instead."
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of animals that I'd be like, sure, I'd watch you walk that, but a pig, don't really care.
I like it. 1 minute to go. Any closing words?
I have closing words.
Okay.
I had my first dry needling thing done with
Oh,
the needles and the
yeah.
electric mom.
Oh yeah, I think Officer
Yeah?
Dave wanted to know how that went.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, if you don't like needles, you probably would hate it. I don't care about needles. They're
don't
like
really care about
acupuncture needles. I actually didn't see a single one of the needles. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But it was real weird because she like stuck the needle in and then she turns on the electric pulse and then your whole muscle twitches. So like there was one point where she had it in like the front of like by my hip and my entire leg was like
So it's like the chiropractor
twitching,
thing that they
twitching,
stick.
twitching.
The little
Kind of, but it's
pads.
in like there's a needle in your muscle
Okay.
making
Yeah.
it twitch. And so I brought up the fact that mom, you got in this car accident, you got whiplash and you get migraines and it's worse when you exercise. And she was like, she should really look into dry needling because that's clearly muscular. If she's like, if working out makes it worse, it's absolutely something with her muscle somewhere. And she's like, this retrains the muscle and your brain's relationship with the muscle. She was like, your mom should for sure look into this. Like if you have some sort of chronic muscular thing, she's like, it's absolutely the best option by far for anything. So
I will. I don't know how did you end up
Physical
getting
therapy.
PT? Did you have to get a referral from a doctor?
it depends on your insurance. I did not. My chiropractor was the one that was like, your tailbone is like most people's is like this and yours is like this. Like mine's completely tilted and it's been
No.
that way since Sage was born. And so she was like, you should go to a physical therapist because that'll blah, blah, blah. And so I talked to my insurance and they were like, you don't need a referral.
Oh.
Your physical therapist will fill out a medical necessity form. And if they say it's medically necessary, then insurance will help pay for it.
Oh.
So it depends on your insurance, Mom. But it is something that I think could really help you. And she was like, 100%, this is something that would be
My guess
great
is
for
it
her.
will be computer says no.
I mean, you have a medical
Computer
like
says
you
no.
you've had to be
They don't
medicated for this for a long time, and you have
Yeah.
like a prior injury. I assume that your insurance would help cover for it.
Maybe.
You should,
One could only
I will
hope.
look into
yeah.
it.
And even if not, worth the money, I'd say,
Yeah,
so you
that's
wouldn't
right.
have to deal with this anymore.
That would be nice.
Oh.
All right, any closing words from anyone?
was all I had.
I guess 2 more days of the normal
This is
show,
my
and
last
then-
one.
Yeah, this is your last The Family.
Yeah.
I know. My whole morning is going to be so different. I'm a little bit like, how's the schedule going to be? Because right now it's like Dan and I get up and we get the kids ready for school and pack the lunches and do you have your water bottle? And then I bring them to school and then I come here. And
See,
now
great-
I'm like, it's going to be different.
The great thing about this is I'm looking at my watch right now. The new show, when it begins at 10:30, it would be over a half an hour from now anyway. So it's not that big a shift. It's just a
No.
little later in the day.
You're on Florida time.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. I'm on
10:30,
Florida
12:30
time.
Central.
Yes.
That's right.
We'd have
I
to.
hope we've been discussing Central.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that
That'll change
changes
a whole lot.
a
That's a
lot
good-
of things.
Good point. That's a good point. No, yes, because it's 10:53 in Minneapolis, 11:53 here.
Exactly.
It is.
So that's it. But 2 more days of it, and that'll work out pretty well. I think everything's pretty much ready to go, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
I have
There's just
some
a-
mental preparation
little
I
bit.
need to do, but
Sure.
I'm working on a new website. It's an awful experience. Web designs
websites
is just
yeah,
sucks.
you
It's
have to get-
awful,
yeah,
but
no good.
nope.
It'll all work out in the end.
Yep.
It is what
Okay.
it
All
is.
work out in the end.
All right, that is going to do it. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Toodaloo.
Got a picture in my pocket reminds me of this was before. Every time I hear the same reminds me how you talking